Welcome back to Becoming. My name's Nick Slater, and look who's back in the studio.
Guess who's back? Back again. Shady's back.
Really?
I want to know how you're feeling after our debut episode together.
Debut.
Apologies. Look, you come to Australia, you've got to speak Australian. When I'm in England, you can pull me up on my grammar there.
How do I feel? I was so nervous. I think it was really out of my comfort zone, but it was well received by friends, which is, I think, the people that you're most scared of. Not scared of, but, you know, if they're like, oh, yeah, it's a bit cringe or I don't know. And they were so lovely. I got so many cute messages from my friends.
The way your friends showed up was so beautiful. They all listened to it from end to end. The girls back home listened to it and sent you these lovely messages. Even some of your guy friends were saying how proud of you they were. And I think that's such a great sign of how supportive your friendship group are.
Yeah.
Because when your friends show up when you're putting yourself out there or doing little wins or trying something new, they're the real ones, hey? They're the true friends.
Yeah, no, I felt almost overwhelmed. I was like, I wasn't expecting this.
I think it kind of took us both by surprise.
Yeah.
That episode has become the most listened to episode on Spotify.
That people want me.
Yeah, they do. And I'm just so proud of you for being brave and vulnerable and putting yourself out there.
Thanks, babe.
Because I know it's completely uncharted territory for you.
You're lucky I'm doing a second.
Yeah, no, I'm stoked you're back because there are still lots of great questions from that Insta story that we put out. So I'm excited to get into them later.
Yeah, me too.
Because you did jump into the podcast world, the content world. Did that positive feedback take you by surprise a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. I think because I see myself as just the girl next door, nobody important. I'm just your girlfriend and like a normal person. So it's like, why would people want to listen to me, or would I be seen as boring or not interesting?
That breaks my heart because you are such a special person. If that first episode showed you that you are a special person and you are funny and you have something to say, that would be such a great outcome.
Yeah. I guess we'll get there. Building.
Yeah. And everyone has something to say, I think. You know, until you do start writing or you start podcast or content, I certainly felt like I had nothing to say.
Mm.
But once you start developing opinions or start putting yourself out there, you realize that everyone has something to say, even if it's not life-changing or it's going to change the world.
Yeah.
Everyone has their own opinion, and that's why podcasts and content or writing is just so good to nurture that and to speak your truth.
Yeah, and I think even if you help one person from the things we were saying or the questions we were getting in, then that's a positive step and you feel that you've done good.
Yeah. Did any of the questions make you feel really vulnerable, like you didn't want to share?
Maybe the one about the threesome.
Yeah. What was that?
Got some weird
Question, have you ever thought about refreshing things with an occasional third?
Yeah, I think I'm naturally quite a private person. She says on a podcast. So for me to open up is kind of scary. And I think there's definitely a level of, sharing, but not oversharing. Although I guess we did overshare a little bit. When your mum was like, okay, I'm just about to listen, I'm thinking, oh no.
Yeah. Well, here's the funny bit. So in that Instagram reel I shared, I put all the salacious moments in there. So the Instagram reel was pretty spicy. And I called mum in advance of her listening. In advance. It's been spending too much time around you. In advance. And said, Mum.
You said advance. I just realised.
In advance. And said, Mum, just a heads up, you probably need earmuffs for that episode because there's a few adult themes. And she said, oh no, I've just listened to the Instagram reel. I loved it. And then she listened to the whole podcast, and she said it was brilliant, which is high praise from Mum because she's a harsh critic. And she said you were great. So.
I know, that was cute. Monday morning, went into the office, had our 8:30 meeting, and what gets brought up? The reel from my manager, the MD of the company. And I'm just thinking, how far through have you guys listened? Luckily, I don't think they got over halfway. So I was like, maybe we'll just leave it there.
Just moving on swiftly.
Moving on. Okay, what about reversed? How did you feel bringing me onto it? And were you ever worried how I was going to be received or?
Well, we approached that first episode as a trial. Do you remember we said if we weren't happy with it, we wouldn't upload it?
Yeah.
In hindsight, I probably should have let you listen to the full episode before posting it. Why didn't I do that? Because that was a plan, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, babe.
You're like, it's going live at 5. And I'm like, well, we've just left the Blue Mountains and it's 3. So I'm not going to be home in time. And suddenly, bam,
Yeah.
it's out there. But
Sorry.
no. You did it really well. And I knew that you wouldn't put anything or edit me to say anything weird.
No. Imagine if I did that.
That would be mean.
What if I gave you the villain cut?
Yeah.
Like they do on The Bachelor?
Yeah, or reality shows.
Just to create some drama.
But it was fun listening with the girls, like for the first time with people
Yeah.
and seeing their reactions, and
I think everyone should do a podcast with their significant other.
it's like free therapy.
It's free therapy. But yeah, thanks for doing this today because we're at that period of the year where we're getting to silly season.
It's actually a bit scary.
It is a little bit. I'm kind of dreading just how crazy it's going to be.
We've got something on, I think, now every Saturday until Christmas.
Yeah.
Strap in.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big one.
Well, it seems all of our friends' birthdays are in November,
Yeah, I know, weird.
including ours.
I actually worked that back, and that means that your parents had sex on or around Valentine's Day, 9 months later, November.
Valentine's Day babies.
Scorpio season.
I like to think my parents had sex once a year
Yeah.
on Valentine's Day.
Mine didn't. I was just a miracle.
Yeah. Immaculate conception.
Yeah.
This time of the year is always a bit funny. Dad's 5-year anniversary is in a few days.
Halloween, isn't it?
Yeah, Halloween,
Yeah.
which I think is quite funny. I think he would have liked that.
Really?
Yeah, just his sense of humour.
It's going to come and scare you.
Yeah, I'm hoping that I walk in one day and he's there. Hey, son.
I wish I got to meet him.
You would have loved him. You guys have a very similar sense of humour.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. He was very cheeky, always having a joke. So yeah, I was going through these photo books, that one there.
Oh,
And-
yeah, the one you showed me.
Yeah, and it's dad playing with all the kids, and we just look like the happiest little family, like very idyllic. And seeing him then as when we were kids, and to when he died, I reckon that would have just gone so quickly. It would have felt like yesterday for him.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing it. Yeah, it was the first time I could visually see just how short life is and how quickly it goes and just how unfair it was just ripped away from him.
Cry so
sorry,
easily.
sorry. Please don't
Doesn't
cry.
take much, does it?
You're a sweetie. That was a turning point for me to just realize how quick life is and to become obsessed with longevity and
Yeah.
wellness and trying to squeeze the most out of every day.
And I think you do. He'd be very proud.
Thank you, darling. You're so cute. The anniversary is always just a reminder of that. It's like, fuck, life is very short. It can be ripped away. I'm going to do whatever I can to avoid disease and to avoid it ending prematurely
Yeah.
and to just milk the most out of every day.
Why does that look like you're doing like titties or something?
I'm milking. It's the goat of life. Goat's milk, yeah. It's good for your skin.
Okay.
Anyway, let's stop crying because we've got some good questions to answer.
My makeup. No, I'm joking.
Sorry, babe.
Let me have a drink.
This is one of my favorite. This isn't a question, but this is one of my favorite things about you is just how quickly you are to cry during movies.
Oh, great.
There could be a dog who's going to the vet for a sore ankle.
I cry during adverts.
Yeah, which is beautiful. It means you're in touch with your emotions.
Yeah, I actually get that from my dad. I'm sure he'll hate me saying this, but he was always the more emotional one. Whenever we'd watch a movie, me and Henry, my brother, would always look over at a sad bit because you could just guarantee that dad would have tears in his eyes all crying. And if you catch him, like, Daddy, you crying, you get so angry. No, I'm not.
Really?
Yeah.
What a big softie. I love
I
it.
know.
I feel like you take off both your mum and your dad,
Yeah.
the softness of your dad, but the
I knew you were
talkative
gonna
nature
say
of your mum.
Can't shut us up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you definitely get parts from both. But growing up, people always said I was more like my dad in terms of I get a lot of my creativity from him, my emotional side, stubbornness, sporty. Yeah, a lot from him, really.
Do you miss cheer?
Cheer? I do, but I think post-accident I could never enjoy it as much again.
Oh, yeah. Can you tell the listeners what happened before we get into the questions?
So, university cheerleading. We'd been
So it's not like pom-poms, it's the...
No, competitive cheer, so like stunting and stuff. And we were something like 4 weeks out from nationals where all the university teams compete. And we'd been training all year, and I was going up in our stunt that we'd done, time and time again. But all it takes is for one person to throw off balance and you go at a funny angle. So up we go. I was a flyer, so I'm going in the air. And as soon as they threw me up, I just knew it wasn't going right. I felt myself sort of going left. And I just remember looking down and they'd thrown me and one person pushed harder. So I was going off at an angle. And I just looked down and I remember thinking, there's no one there to catch me. How is this going to go? And then landed on my knee and tore my meniscus and ACL in one go. And it was the most agonizing thing to date. I was just screaming in pain. Then the ambulance came and they carried me off with my bow still in my hair and I was all laughing gas. Okay. And it was a long rehab. I think it was 6 months for your ACL, and it's still not fully, I don't think it'll ever be the same.
Because don't you get psychological scarring?
Yeah, so I tried to go back to cheer after that. And every time I went up, the fear was there. It's like, when you fall off, not that I've fallen off a horse, but they say the hardest thing is getting back on because every time your body's like, no, and what if it happens again? You tense up and then you're potentially endangering yourself. So
you know what that means? We need to recreate it.
No.
Yeah. What if we went down to the sand and we did it sort of half in the water and launched you? So it's a soft landing.
Well, we were doing some last Christmas at your mum's pool, remember?
Yeah. So maybe the confidence is coming back.
Maybe, okay.
I just want to see you with that bow in your hair. Okay, let's dive into the questions because after we recorded, some really great questions came in. This is from Nacy. Is it normal to partner with someone that looks like a sibling? What?
Why do we get...
We get this all the time. But what I love about this is the way she's worded it. Is it normal to partner with someone that looks like a sibling? Like it's a...
Like we've done it intentionally.
Yeah, like it's a formal courting.
I don't really see it, and you don't either, do you? But we hear that so much.
Our subconscious must see it.
And also, but I like Hillary and Marvin, I think they look similar.
Yeah.
So maybe it is a thing.
I honestly think people generally date people with similar colour hair, similar features.
Why though? What's the reason behind that?
Well, I looked it up. Do you remember? I typed it into ChatGPT. Is there an evolution mechanism to date people with similar attributes or who look the same?
Yeah.
And I was hoping it would confirm it, be like, yes, it's important for survival of your tribe to match with similar people. But it was basically saying no. It was like, no, evolutionary, you should go for people outside of your genetic pool and go for people different than you. Yeah, it must just be some crazy kink of ours.
I don't know
have to edit that out.
Do you reckon you look like my brother? Actually,
Nothing.
You both have blonde hair and blue eyes, and your sister has blonde hair and blue eyes.
Is that blonde though?
What, me?
Well, it's not naturally blonde, is it?
It's looking a bit dark now, but...
Oh, sorry, that was mean.
Yeah,
Cut
thanks.
that out.
No, don't. It's funny.
And the other thing is people say that like we'll put up a photo of us and get 10 people saying, look like siblings. Siblings or dating. Is that your brother? And I don't know what they expect us to reply.
Yes, he looks like my brother.
Yeah. Oh, hadn't thought of that. No one's told us that before.
Yeah, it's kind of funny though. Maybe we should put it in that group on Instagram. No, that page on Instagram.
Siblings or dating.
Clear it up once and for all.
And for me, there's an immediate clue that we're not born in the same country, and that's as soon as you open your mouth.
And likewise, debut.
I like you've turned up today with a bit more bite.
Chose violence.
From Zach, discover anything new about each other after travelling abroad?
How smelly your farts are.
Is that new though?
Anything new?
For me, the biggest difference between us traveling, getting on the plane, I'm such a nerd. I have a laptop pre-loaded with shows that I'm going to watch. I've got my noise cancelling headphones.
Your eye mask?
Got my eye mask.
Your earplugs?
Earplugs.
Your journal? Honestly, it's like he's taking an overnight bag just for the bloody flight.
Nothing fires me up more than when you're in the air, it's 12 a.m, they've got the lights off, I've got a red wine, half a sleeping tablet, and I can pull out the journal or do some writing on the laptop or even just watch a movie with my noise cancelling headphones. It's like a holiday. And then I look to you and you're sitting there completely raw dogging it before it was cool. No headphones. You've got the plain headphones if you're lucky.
Yeah.
Nothing on your laptop.
No.
You don't even get up to do a pee.
No, hate airplane toilets.
No sleeping
water
tablets.
for me.
It is just such a stark difference. It could not be more opposite.
And I fall asleep before the plane's even taken off. So I basically just sleep the whole time. I wake up and I'm there. It's actually a life hack.
Yeah, that is incredible. You somehow do not get caught up with jet lag.
Nope.
You are immune to time zones and you can just sleep through.
Blame my iron deficiency, I reckon.
Got to get me one of those. And I think that's generally our relationship as well. I'm obsessed with tech and I like to put smart lights around the house. I've got the 8 Sleep in the bed, which is this incredible technology that heats and cools the mattress, and it's pretty sick. But you just could not care less.
I deleted the app. I hate tech. I'm such a boomer.
You're such a boomer. You deleted the app because it was providing too much tracking?
Yeah, data anxiety. I don't like constantly checking things. I don't even have, I feel like everyone in the world's got a Garmin or an Apple Watch, whatever. Never have one. Never want to. Just raw dog life.
You raw dog life.
Easier that way.
It's a good balance, I think, because, yeah, you bring your boomer energy.
I'm not
I bring
a
my
boomer.
millennial energy.
Well, I'd say you're probably more of a boomer, nearing 40.
Well, biological age is probably smaller because I didn't spend 15 years smoking rollies in London.
Well.
Okay, Palacio, how to cold approach slowly. That's probably one for you.
What does that mean?
What advice would you have for them to pick up a girl they don't know at a bar or something?
I really respect that. I feel like guys don't do that enough anymore. They rely too much on apps and Instagram. And what happened to going out, whether you're drinking, whether you've gone to the gym, and just asking someone for their number or on a date, it doesn't really happen anymore. Bring that back, I say.
What would they say to not freak you out or to not put you off, but to spark your curiosity? And
Yeah, be authentic. Go up to them and say, hey, there, I saw you around and wondered if you might like to go for a drink or can I grab your number? And they'll soon let you know whether, yes, here we go, or I've got a boyfriend. And I think just take it from there. You don't need to overthink it.
Have you ever had guys come up to you who are trying pickup lines? Or because how there's that whole thing on the internet where there's dating coaches or pickup coaches and they train people to use pickup lines or train them to have riz. Have you ever experienced that?
Yeah, no, I've had pickup lines online. No one's actually come up and said something weird.
Yeah.
But I remember I was at the gym once and this guy was like, oh, can I use the machine after you? And I was like, yeah, I'm nearly done. And then I finished. I was like, oh, hi, you'll go. He's like, oh, I didn't actually need to use it, but now we're talking. I'm just wondering if I could grab your number. I was like, I don't know.
The gym's a safe space.
Yeah, I know. I was sort of there like I'm sweating. I came here to just be on my own, got my headphones on. But then I also see the flip side of a lot of people now are meeting at run clubs or workouts, and it's like the new way to pick someone up. So I don't know, it's a weird one.
I just feel like the gym, because you go, that's like your escape. You go there 3 times a week. You don't really want to feel like you're being looked at or like people are trying to approach you. It's
probably different if you go to the gym floor and they're solo working out, headphones on, don't look like they want to be interrupted. But if you maybe at a group fitness workout or something and you're, interacting with other people doing, what are they called?
Hamburgers.
You're doing
Pilates?
No, when you're doing
circuit
together, then you're sort of already talking to them. That might be a bit different.
Yeah, true. Okay, Elizabeth, finish this sentence. This is quite clever. People will never have a healthy, sustainable relationship if they don't ...
Ooh.
People will never have a healthy, sustainable relationship if they don't.
Oh, I'll go first because it's very clear for me. It's just trust. And there's a few things, but trust for me is the main one. If you don't have trust, you don't have anything. I feel like that's a basis for every relationship.
Open communication for me.
Yeah.
If you're unable to talk about things that come up, small or big,
Yeah.
you're kind of doomed because those things are just going to build up.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, learn how to have healthy, open communication.
And communication is actually so hard. We think it's easy. We think it's just talking, but it's being able to open up, like creating a space where your partner can, asking the right questions, understanding how they're feeling and why and when and what to say. It's a lot more than people think.
Especially on big issues. I was with some lads yesterday and one of them was trying to bring up a visa conversation with his partner and the gravity of that conversation made it really hard to bring up and it was just like an elephant in the room. So things like that, it's a lot easier than said. It's a lot easier said than done to say have open communication because sometimes it's just really big.
Yeah.
So what do you think is good advice if there's a really big thing that you do need to address but you're struggling to talk about it?
You need to do something that makes you feel both comfortable. Like if it's easier for you guys to talk over a glass of wine, then pop a bottle of red, or if you want to go out somewhere and just set an environment where your partner can be open and tell you how they feel without you interjecting or talking over them and, say whatever you're going to say, I'll listen to and it'd be fine. But I think just, let them be vulnerable.
Yeah, encourage vulnerability. When they do open up, kind of reward that by being there for them and showing them that it's a safe space.
Yeah.
Let them know that it's okay to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Ophelia. Going through divorce, I'm 32. How can I trust that I'll meet someone again?
Oh, Ophelia, you are so young. I'm almost 32 and I met you only 18 months ago. So I was 30. Is that right?
Yep.
Not very good at numbers. You are so young. You've got your whole life ahead of you. Even though you're going through a huge milestone, I think plenty of opportunity to meet people. And in fact, I actually think it's so much easier to meet someone in your 30s than in your 20s because you are more aware of who you are and what you want. Boys are naturally a bit more mature. And I just found it a lot easier this time around than when I was last single in my 20s.
Yeah, it's so true. Being able to attract a guy in their 30s generally has his shit sorted out, knows who he is, his career's on track, that's going to be a much better match. And also something like 40 to 50% of marriages in Australia are ending in divorce at the moment.
Wow.
So she can get guys on their second round.
Yeah.
No, but what I mean, that's just a sign that she's not alone with this. It's certainly not abnormal to be going through that in your 30s. So don't think that there's anything wrong. Just do what you can to find yourself again and build that robust sense of self.
Yeah.
And then when you're ready, put yourself out there and make yourself open energetically to new people throughout your day. And I have no doubt that you'll attract someone. But certainly don't stress, don't worry.
Absolutely not.
And trust that it'll happen.
Yeah. I think people that meet too young, when you're still finding yourself and working out what you want, you might naturally grow apart anyway. So dating your 30s makes more sense.
Yeah, and you're not going out as much. You're not meeting people in the club.
Yeah, who are going to be fuck boys.
Yeah. You're meeting people who have similar interests and things with you.
Yeah, and probably want the same things. I think be excited.
Yeah, be excited.
Start up a new chapter.
Totally. Be grateful and excited, and that's such a good wavelength to attract people.
Yeah.
Great question though, Ophelia. Carly, would love to hear you discuss mobile phone use / privacy and how to bring it up with partners.
I have a very strong opinion on this one because there's nothing more I hate than when, even if it's not your partner, your friends, when you're out with them and they're on their phone at the table or you're having a one-on-one conversation and they're checking their phone or their watch and it's just like, are you really listening to me? I feel like I've got undivided attention here. And I make such a conscious effort to do it to you and my close friends. So when it's not done back to me, it just me.
Yeah, I hear you.
My friends are good at it, but yeah, I think it's, again, just another honest conversation you need to have when we're having a deep chat or dinner or places where, you know, we're having a good conversation. Put your phone away. There's nothing urgent that you need to do right now.
It pulls you out of the conversation immediately. If you're chatting to someone and they're looking down, Marto does this, and I can say this because there's no chance of him listening to this, but he'll be there like having a scroll and you're like, oh, sorry, mate, did I just disappear? Like, and you end up just finishing your sentence to yourself.
Yeah. Oh, actually, what do you do to me? A little trick sometimes. I'm guilty of this too sometimes. Not when we're in deep conversations, but if you're talking to me and I check my phone and then you go off saying something really random, like, oh, and then the fish jumped out of the house, just to see if I'm listening. And I'm like, huh?
Yeah, if I'm telling a story or telling you about my day and I say, oh, Zoe, this happened today, and you're like, did it? And I can tell you're not engaged. I'll be like, yeah, and then the donkey actually flew a spaceship to Mars.
Yeah. And I'm like, hold on, something's not right. I think that's a good trick.
Do I do it to you? Do you ever notice me on my phone?
No, you are really good, and I'll pull you up if you do. One thing I think you did at the beginning was, and maybe it's like a self-conscious thing on my part, is if we're walking along the street out in public and you're on your phone and we're holding hands, I get worried that it looks to people like you're not interested in me, and I almost try and make awkward conversation to like bring you back into the real world.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, because you don't want to look like your boyfriend doesn't care about you.
Yeah, and you're bored, so you're just scrolling while we're next to each other.
Yeah. Surely I was just looking at maps.
Let's hope.
Do I do that anymore?
No.
Promise?
Yeah.
You can tell me.
No, I would.
Okay, Tanners, why does my partner put me down? And when I confront him, he says he's kidding and I'm overthinking.
Ooh.
A little bit of gaslighting there.
Yeah, sounds like he might be gaslighting you.
It's always tricky with these ones because you need a bit more context, but it's not cool for your partner to put you down, A. And then if you're approaching him and confronting him and he's saying you're overthinking, that's just classic textbook gaslighting. And gaslighting is when you deny someone's truth or their memory or deny their version of what happened. So for him to completely deny it and put it back on you is gaslighting. So what would you suggest to Taniz?
Because she's already approached him, so what more can she do?
I think in this case she needs to tell her close friends and family about it, find a support group, whether, that's her close friends she can tell or her family to get their opinion. And if she doesn't have those, a therapist. Yeah, there's a few warning signs for me there, and it's not behaviour that she should tolerate. So I would approach family and friends for a second opinion and then go from there.
Yeah. And I think just spell it out to him how it's making you feel. You know, maybe if he really does think it's nothing, then make him aware that it is, and then he hopefully should stop that.
Yeah. Yeah, and maybe if the in-person confrontations aren't working, try a letter.
Love a letter.
Yeah. Maybe not text message. Go for the letter.
I'm talking old school, handwritten.
Pen and paper,
Maybe
baby.
a few tears on the paper.
Yeah. Then, oh, sorry, I'm just crying. Really dramatic. And then when he reads it, put on some sad music and wait till it's raining.
You've done this before, haven't you?
Okay, one last question.
Okay.
This is a good one. This is from Jay Splat. What was the topic of the hardest conversation you've ever had with each other?
Can you remember?
A dog's better than cats. I'll try and think of a specific, but do you remember we used to play that game when we first started dating where we'd have a couple of margaritas and play this game where we got to ask each other a really personal question?
Yeah.
And they were kind of questions that really you had to let your guard down, and it was such a great way to get to know each other.
That was good. And that was quite early on.
That was really early on.
Yeah.
And I just thought what an amazing thing to do on those dates to really get to know the person.
Can you remember any of them?
It was stuff like about former partners, or like, have you cheated on someone before?
I think it was probably when we were going quite deep about, childhood and growing up and sort of any trauma that came out and how that's affected us now or where it might show up. And I think just being aware of what we both have come from and.
That's the biggest one, Because, once you learn their childhood and what it was like in those formative years, it paints a complete picture of the person.
Yeah.
And it makes me much more able to excuse some of your bad habits.
There aren't any.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, go back to childhood and talk about what it was like when their parents got separated or when you had to move out of home for 2 weeks or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Those questions are so important for understanding each other.
Yeah. Actually, that reminds me though, let's talk about pet peeves.
Yeah, because there is a question here
is there?
from Sono. How do you both handle pet peeves? Let's finish on this one.
I just call them out because there's no other way to go about it. If you let it go, it'll just eat up at you and then spiral into this big thing. So you closing the toilet seat, but not closing it. We don't have soft close. Unfortunately, I wish we did, but he kicks it down and this thing slams and it goes through me every time. And I don't know how many times I have to tell you, put it down gently.
Babe, I'm used to the finer things in life. I'm used to that soft close. So now we've got this thing.
Get onto the landlord because I can't take it anymore.
I'm closing it with venom because I'm pissed off about my hard closing seat.
Okay, what's mine?
Yours is something to do with the sink.
Knew you were going to say that.
It's the sink mush for me.
I think all the girls listening will be on the same page as me here.
It doesn't make it right. I'll go into the sink and there's like days old. When I got back from that trip and there's like days old cereal in the sink and it's like, ugh. I get it because it is such a disgusting feeling to go in there, go diving.
Blue job for sure.
Go mush diving. Sorry.
What diving?
I meant to say mush diving. And then I crossed it with muff diving.
Moving on.
But yes, the best way to handle pet peeves, to answer the question, is to bring light to them.
I've got one more for you.
Yeah. Well, come on.
We
better wrap it up.
This is therapy.
It's time.
No, wait. When you shave your beard, chest, God knows what else, why does it go everywhere? Even when you cleaned it up, it's still those little black things everywhere. Find them for days.
Welcome to manhood, baby.
Even if I hug you, I'll get it on my face and it looks like I've then got a beard.
Yeah, I can imagine that's really annoying. But you know what's more annoying? Having to shave your fucking face every couple of days.
I had to shave my legs every few days.
Every few days?
That's a bigger
Yeah, but you can do it in the
area.
shower. The thing about the face is you need a mirror. So I can't raw dog blind shave in the face because I'll nick off an ear or something. And it's also exceptionally manicured. It's really not. It's not. But maybe we could get some kind of bathroom mirror and I can do it in there.
Yeah.
Because it's annoying. But I also have to clean the sink and funnel it down.
I'd say we're equal then.
Sink mush is disgusting.
Muff diving.
And that's it. Will you come back on?
If you get a soft closed toilet lid.
Deal. I love you.
Love you.